Here, you drop this.
It's an ultrasound picture Elizabeth had made up of her baby. When I see my child grown inside Elizabeth, and I remember I could have killed them both that night at the pier. My son or daughter owes its life to you.
We're not having this conversation. Something happened between you and Lucky's wife. That's none of my business. But he's a brother officer just out of rehab. And if Lucky finds out the truth about you and Elizabeth, he could send them back to the pills. So do the woman a favor. Do us all a favor. When you get out of here, leave Elizabeth alone. If Lucky finds out the truth and goes back to pills, it's Elizabeth and her kids who are going to get the worst.
I would never do anything to hurt Elizabeth.
What did you say about Elizabeth?
Elizabeth and I have been friends for a long time. I don't want to see her get hurt by any of this. That's all I'm saying.
That conversation I walked in on, what did Maury really say about my wife?
He thinks that Maxie pays too much attention to her.
What about you?
I don't know.
Rick says he gave me my job back to help Elizabeth.
Then watch your back. And if he really has a thing for your wife,
then I guess the DA really doesn't have my best interest at heart. My job is to go after Jason no matter how Elizabeth feels.
Good.
One more thing, Rick. Why are my wife's feelings suddenly so important to you?
You know, Elizabeth and I do have our own history. Considering everything she's had to deal with in the past few months, not the least of which is your drug abuse, your extramarital affair, and now Maxie's untimed pregnancy, I'd say that she could use all the support that she can get. Which is why you gave me my job back. For Elizabeth's sake. If it gives her a little peace.
Well, then you need to make up your mind, Rick. Do I go after Jason, even if it risks upsetting Elizabeth? Or do I refuse the assignment so Elizabeth isn't stressed out? What do you really want?
And whatever the official paperwork says, you work for me. And what I want is Jason Morgan arrested, tried, and convicted.
Why is that my problem?
Because Jason will go easy on you for Elizabeth's sake. Which pretty much brings us full circle. You're my obvious choice.
You and I aren't together. Neither are you and Elizabeth. And her baby wasn't any more planned than mine. I think we should let Elizabeth weigh in. Elizabeth.
What now, Maxie?
Well, Lucky wants to give up one of his kids for adoption, and I think you should tell me why it shouldn't be yours.
I have no idea what I walked into, and frankly, I don't care, but I have no intention of giving up my baby for adoption.
Looks like we have something in common after all, besides Lucky, of course.
You just listen to my reasons.
You can say whatever you want, but I'm not going to change my mind.
Maxie, you don't even have a job. You're entirely dependent on Mac. You weren't planning a pregnancy. And you have no experience with children. And honestly, the only interest you've shown in this baby is using it to get me back.
God, you're arrogant, even while you're sitting there trying to get me to pot off our baby on total strangers.
I'm only suggesting adoption because it's the baby's best chance at a happy, well-adjusted life.
Lucky, you don't know what you're saying. I don't think adoption is a decision you should make lightly.
Maxie's
I'm not concerned with Maxie, okay? I'm worried about what you would have to live with. It might be harder than you think. Knowing you have a child out there somewhere growing up without you, no contact, never being able to provide that child with love and support.
Wow, okay, this is a red letter day. Two things we agree on. Maybe Lucky will listen to you and stop trying to get me to dump my kid.
Is that what you think? That I want to dump Maxie's baby?
No, of course not.
I'm just trying to find the best solution for everyone involved, including this child.
Then why do you think adoption is the answer?
Because I don't know if I'm going to have time to fit this baby into my life when we have a baby of our own on the way. And as time goes by, the less and less faith I have in Maxie being any kind of mother.
I get your reservations where Maxie's concerned, but I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. When you see that baby, when you hold your son or daughter for the first time in your arms, your entire perspective changes. You're going to be bonded to that little person like you've never been bonded to anybody in your entire life. And there won't be a question about time or your ability to give.
I just want to experience all that when I hold my child with you.
Look, Okay, look, this is not my decision to make. I just don't think you're being fair to yourself or Maxie's baby. Your baby. If you choose to give it up. Hey.
Hey.
You're back.
I found Spinelli. Charges were dropped.
That's great. And Sam?
She's out on bail. Case against her looks weak, so we just expect it to get falling apart.
I am really happy with both of you.
None of this would have happened if you hadn't helped me, so thank you.
Please, it was the least I could do. Unless there's something else I can do for you.
Actually, I wanted to ask your opinion on something. It's kind of personal, so can we...
Yeah, of course. What's going on?
If I'd been the father of your baby, would you have wanted me to be a part of its life?
I always knew you'd want what was best for my baby, whether you were the father or not.
But when you thought it might be mine, you said you wanted to raise it alone. Why?
Because we never intended on making a life together. And if this baby had been yours, then it would have been an accident. And I didn't want you to have to make a commitment for the sake of a baby that you didn't even plan.
Is that it?
What do you mean?
Well, my life, my work, did that figure into your decision? I mean, do you think it would be wrong to raise a child in a home with armed guards, guns, the possibility of death? I mean, if I'd been the father of your baby, do you think you would just be better off without me?
Jason. Look, I know your heart. And I know that you would do everything in your power to protect your child. And you would be able to give him or her everything that children need the most. Love and patience, tolerance, compassion. Your child would be a better human being for having you as an involved father.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
I'm signing out early. I have a family emergency. Is Lucky around?
He signed out.
Is it okay if I wait?
Sure.
Thanks.
Elizabeth? What are you doing here? Not that I'm complaining.
I just need to see Lucky.
I guess he must be out on a call. There's no telling when he's going to be back. Do you want to leave him a note?
Yeah, that'd probably be best.
Yeah, I'll just get a pen.
Rick, what's wrong? Rick, is something wrong?
You know what? I was just thinking that so much paperwork goes across these desks that a note might get lost. Why don't you just call and leave Lucky a message on his cell phone?
Okay, I'll do that. In addition to leaving him a note.
Elizabeth, you don't want to do that, okay?
Rick, let me open the drawer.